motion to adopt the agenda? Second. All in favor? Please rise and join us.
Let's pray. Lord, we thank you for this day and for all your many blessings. We thank you for this board. We thank you. I personally thank you for the opportunity to serve this board. It's going to be tough to go out. Give me strength. Give this board continued strength to do the right things and for the right reasons. Be with us as we go through these holiday season. Keep us safe. Everything that we do is through you, Lord.
Amen. Please remain standing and join me as we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everyone had a chance to look at this?
Motion approved.
All in favor? All right, we've got some very special recognitions tonight. Everyone had the chance to look at the appointments? You're okay with those? Everyone showing up here? This would be Brian, Deborah, on Hall County Alliance for Literacy Board. I'm going to keep Paul Beautiful. Bill is on large systems.
Sorry.
On investment assistance for the Chamber of Commerce, that will be the.
You said you're going to keep all people, like all by yourself? That's a big job.
I've got a group.
That'd be good if you look at that.
Raise your hand for that.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to recommend you have your conversation about 581 after we recognize these incredible kids that are working out in the hall. So
All right, at this time, we're excited. We have a host of, a whole group of recognitions tonight. It's just outstanding because it's state champions, state runner-ups, and we are so proud. And so I want to have Stan Lewis, our district athletic director, come forward and start this recognition. So thanks, Stan.
Lots to celebrate tonight. You can hear them in the hallway. The first group is an incredible group of young ladies led by Coach Josh Joyner. It's the Cherokee Bluff High School softball team. They had an incredible season. State runners-up, AAA Georgia High Talk about a group that battled and filled that school and that community with a lot of excitement. So proud of them at the district level and in the community itself. Coach Joyner, would you please just say a few words?
Just super proud of this group of girls. We've got, so I wanted to recognize all of them individually, just kind of give you guys, give them a chance to be recognized. McKinley Warren, she's a junior. Amelia Spencer, she's a senior. Lily Deal, she's a sophomore. Haley Stevenson, she's a sophomore. Addie Cagle is a sophomore. Audrey Graham is a junior. Audrey was first team All-State this year, which is a really cool honor. Really cool honor. McKinley was second team All-State this year. Archer is a 10th grader. Haley Hemmings is a junior. Caitlin Benitez is a junior. Claire Carlson is a junior. This one, Kate Heron is a senior. So Kate is our region player of the year, but also the state AAA player of the year this year. Emma Kate Hill is a freshman, Bailey Greason is a freshman, Peyton Davis is a sophomore, Quinn Keyword is a junior, Ella Wolf is a sophomore, and our special manager, Ella Pritchard, is also a sophomore. Coach Davidson, Coach Sims, and Coach Pope, they did such an outstanding job. This group of girls has been so much fun to be around. It was hard for the season to end just because we weren't going to be around each other anymore. And so we're super, super proud of them as a community, as a coaching staff, and I really appreciate this honor, guys.
Coach, sounds like you've got a lot of underclassmen too, which means the future's very bright. So, let's get a picture there, and one more round of applause.
We're gonna have to, y'all move over.
There you go. Let Coach know if you want a copy of this picture. We'll make sure you get a copy. Now, Coach, I heard you have 2 seniors out there. I'd like to ask what our 2 seniors are planning on doing next year. Where were the 2 seniors? I can take a picture. Got to kneel down again. There you go. 2 seniors, what y'all want to do next year?
What are you doing next year? You can just share with the rest of us.
Furman, fantastic school. Congratulations, Kid Paladin. And?
I actually have no idea.
Wait, she's on.
True.
And you'll do great wherever you go. Thank you all. We're so proud of you. Thank you.
Congratulations, great job, good job, congrats. Thank you, congratulations, very nice job. Good job, congratulations, good job. Great job, ladies. Nice job. Congratulations and congrats. Good job. Great job, coach. See you later. Good job, parents. Thank you.
All right.
Good job, guys.
Next group, we have North Hall Middle School. Get this now. Cross-country program, girls and boys, once again, state champions from the state of Georgia. That's 3 years in a row, state champions. I'm reluctant to use the word dynasty because I don't want to jinx the program, but they are establishing a pattern that we're quite pleased with.
Aww.
Is there a coach with them? Yes. Coach Frank?
Yes, sir.
Talk a little bit about this wonderful group you got.
All right. Well, this year's group was a whole lot of fun. We had a great time this season, and they're just all. We're just very lucky. The last 2 years and this year included, we just have kids that they're just very self-driven. They're very motivated. They're great kids in the classroom as well. They really love each other. They get along great. You know, North Hall cross country with the high school team also, it's just like one big family, and we promote that, we try to make that happen, and we just have a great culture at North Hall for cross country, and I think they really enjoy it, and we've all been kind of bummed that the season's over because we all like hanging out with each other so much. And we just have great parents too that support the middle school and the high school program. They've raised some great kids, and makes it pretty easy to coach them. So we've had a great time with them.
Anybody else like to come up and take some pictures?
Get them all, we got them here.
Stacy.
And again, if you want a copy of Jimmy's picture, just let your coach know. We'll get that emailed to you. Hey, Dale, so glad you're here. All right, one more round of applause. And remaining in that cluster,
Good job.
the group we're about to
Good job. Good job.
introduce is
Good job.
evidence that
Good
Coach
job.
Crane is doing a fantastic job down at the middle school. We've got the North Hall boys cross country team. They were state runners up this year. Head coach and athletic director Sam Ford. Sam, you want to talk about this group?
Sure, yes sir, thank you. As you can tell, we had more than 3 gentlemen that ran cross country for North Hall this year, but I think 5 or 6 of them are at basketball practice, so excited to have that multi-sport athlete. These guys got second place in the state and 3A runner-up. It's the best finish that North Hall has had since 2013. So a lot of success with distance runners probably the last 20 years at North Hall, but what these boys did was very impressive, and everything went through our senior here, Bryant Young, if you'd raise your hand. Senior captain, Bryant Young, was 3rd in state. So he was an all-state performer, and just really proud of his team. The rest of the group of guys is pretty much all 10th graders. So, Mr. Schofield, we hope to be back next year and change that second and try to win the whole thing. Oconee County's very good. They beat us this year. We were able to beat Jefferson. They're also a very good program. So we'll try to win the whole thing on the boys' side next year.
And Brian, what are your plans for next year?
I'm still deciding where I'd do in college, but I like to run in college and major in finance.
Well, you'll do great whatever you do. We're sure proud of you, young man. If any families want to come up and get a picture, come on, please do.
Bless.
Now, fellas, Mr. Morris is a runner, and he was telling me right before you came in that after the meeting tonight, he thinks he can beat you.
What'd you run?
15
feet.
No.
Never mind. Good job.
Good job.
Congratulations. Good job.
So you might as well just hang on to it for doing this thing, because it's kind of like the Grammys or the Emmys where the same actor keeps having to come back up. So we've got a group now, state champions, the girls cross country team at North Hall High School, AAA state champions.
All right, awesome. So, don't think the boys haven't been hearing about it. The girls won the state championship. So, very proud of them. As you saw before, the middle school program just won 3 state championships in a row. And raise your hand if you ran cross country for North Hall Middle School. So, just the way it works at North Hall is you start running and you keep on running. So, this girls team, this is the first girls state championship in any sport in North Hall High School history. 1957, the first girls team to ever win state championship as this girls team right here. It's also the first Hall County girls cross country team champion in the history of Hall County. We've had some boys, first one.
I also remember when my daughters were in school that they said that the cross-country team and the volleyball team always had this highest GPA as well, so I'm sure that's the case here.
Actually, yes, that's a highly sought after at our Renaissance Rally in spring. Last 3 years in a row, the girls cross country team is the highest GPA on campus. Wanted to celebrate also, we went 1-2. So our state champion individually was senior captain Clodagh O'Brien, if you'd raise your hand. And then we also went runner-up, which was awesome. So to see a senior pass the baton to a freshman, we have a freshman by the name of Summer Muxlow that got second in the state. So raise your hand, Summer, say hello. And at state, they recognize the top 10. So another senior I want to recognize, Harley Smith. If you'd raise your hand, Harley was 5th in the state. Very talented team, and they're going to try to win again next year. So thanks for having us, school board. Thank you for supporting us. And these kids work very, very hard, as you can tell, in the classroom and running, and track is next. So they're playing basketball, they're getting ready for track, and hopefully we can be back here actually this spring after some track state championships.
Sam, introduce your whole team there you got here tonight.
Absolutely, I would love to. This is Coach Art DaCosta. If you don't know him, Art's been coaching at North Hall now for 18 years. 18 years ago, he came and helped the distance program, and he is instrumental to all the success you've seen the last 20 years. Just think about the impact. This is Coach Lindsey Green. Lindsey ran for North Hall High School and now has joined us as a community coach. We have Gabby Jones. We have Maria Louise Timchuk. We have Ella Edwards. We have Lily Kate Morgan. And we've already mentioned Harley Smith, Summer Muxlow, and Clodagh O'Brien. They are state champions. Go Chargers.
Seniors have to tell us what they're planning on doing.
Yes, sir. Chloe, you want to start? What are your plans?
I plan to run in college. I'm still deciding, and I want to major in nursing.
Awesome. Harley?
I'm signed to run cross country and track with UNG, and I'm going to major in kinesiology to be a pediatric.
Sweet. Good
I
job.
want to go to school for biology on the pre-med track.
Good for you.
I'm Mary Louise Timchuk. I was super excited and grateful to be accepted early action to Georgia and Georgia Tech recently. Still waiting to hear back from a few other schools. But I'm planning on getting a finance degree and then possibly going into the medical field after that.
Wow.
Congratulations. Let's get a good family.
Do it all.
Great job.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Nice job. Congratulations.
Thank you so
Good job.
much.
Good job.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good job. Congratulations. Good job.
And
Great
tell
job. Great
tell the
job.
group that
Good
we're
job.
going to have
Good job.
some more recognitions next month in
Good job.
January.
Good job.
We've got a literary state champ,
so
and
much.
cheerleading state champ.
We got a one-act state champ.
Way to go, ladies.
And
Good
we've
job.
got a competition cheer state champ.
See you later.
that
Bye.
We just didn't have room tonight,
Congratulations.
so we're going to recognize them next month.
Awesome job,
So,
parents.
here's your teaser for next month.
Good job, parents.
I'll tell you what, before we move on from recognitions, there wasn't something that happened last week. Talk about state champs and state runner-ups. Rhonda Samples, stand up back there in the back, please. Last week in San Antonio, Texas, the Association for Career and Technical Education named the National CTA Administrator of the Year. And Will and I are not surprised by this one bit, because I know for about the last 5 to 10 years, anywhere we go, we recognize Rhonda Samples. We have said out loud to people, we have the best CTA person in the state, and we have the best CTA person in the nation. And it's very affirming to have someone say, you're right, you got the best one in the state and the best one in the nation. Congratulations.
To show what kind of work she does, you flew in Friday morning from San Antonio.
Late
Set-
Thursday night.
Late Thursday night to set up for a night at the
Oh, it was
Oaks.
Friday morning.
Friday morning. I think we have one more recognition. We got a leadership hall somewhere.
I'm Cole Kaminsky. I work with Kubota Manufacturing. I've been there about 2 years. I work in HR. My main role is working with all the work-based learning students. I have a bunch from Hall County. And I also work with the college interns and the apprenticeship students.
Thank you so much. And I think we have another.
Hi, Areli Carrillo. I'm with Jackson ENC, Engineering Operations, and also blessed to be a part of Leadership Hall.
Mr. Chairman, before Mr. Morris does his last, Mr. Bales does his last recognition, it's taken me 20 years to get the vice chairman's dad to show up so he can make sure he behaves. Would also like to recommend, just recognize Mr. Dale Morris and his wife Sue. Glad you could be here tonight for Nate's final meeting, so thank you very much. So. All right, Kevin, I give one more.
Well, we do, as far as the, real excited about the success we've had at Ivester Early College. And so tonight, very proud to announce to our community about a donation from the Ivester Foundation as we now work towards having Ivester Early College North Campus. So, Mr. Schofield, I think we have a video.
Hello, I'm Will Schofield, the superintendent of the Hall County School District, and with me this morning is the former chief executive officer of the Coca-Cola Foundation, who more importantly to me, both he and his wife are Hall County natives, Mr. Doug Ivester. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning, Will. Wonderful to see you this morning.
And it's great to be with you. You know, Doug, I've often used you as an example that we do live in a country where absolutely anybody can have tremendous success in our country, but what really strikes me about you and Kay is your desire to give back to the community that you grew up in. We've just received significant support from you in a number of areas, the greatest being our Ivester Early College, and I think you and your foundation and Ms. Ivester have an announcement to make in terms of some additional support that you're about to give us. Do you mind telling us that?
Okay, I'm happy to. Well, we are, as everyone probably knows, we're a longtime supporter of the early college concept as well as the execution by the Hall County school system. And it's a tremendous honor for the early college to have the name of my father, who would be absolutely over the moon if he were still with us. But we're thrilled with that. So, having long been a supporter of the concept, we were immediately attracted to supporting the first campus. And it's been obvious, I think, to me and to Kay and to the foundation members that you are now capacity constrained. And as we have discussed over the last probably 2 years, we support the idea of expanding the capacity to give deserving students in Hall County the opportunity to go to early college. So, as we understand it, you're about to expand to a north campus, which will be wonderful for the county and the students. And the Ivester Foundation has made the decision to support that move by donating $1 million to the Hall County Early College activity, and we are thrilled to do so.
Well, we will work till our fingers bleed to be worthy of your trust. Let me just also say that when you talk about the motto of the early college, the Buck Ivester Early College is to change lives one life at a time. It brings tears to my eyes when I think about the reality that 45% of the students who are participating in the early college program are first generation college goers. This is a life changer for generations to come for those families. I can't thank you enough. We are certainly fortunate to partner with you, Kay, the foundation, and again, we look for additional great things to come. So expansion of the Ivester Early College to the North Campus, which will be at the White Sulphur, former White Sulphur Elementary Campus. We've got some work to do. You've given us some funds to get that work done. And Doug, I can't thank you enough. Appreciate you being with us this morning.
Well, I'm grateful for what you're doing there. We are enthusiastic supporters of what you're doing. Having had the opportunity to meet a number of the students there, to participate occasionally in your graduation ceremony, and then to meet with some of your talented staff as we've worked to help you expand your contact with the university network. I can tell you that there's nothing that gives us greater pleasure than seeing those students excel at the Ivester Early College.
Thank you so much. Merry Christmas, and we'll see you soon.
Merry Christmas. Take care.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
The Ivysters have been great partners with us. And they went to school, Doug and Kay went to East Holland.
Turn it
Doug
on.
and Kay went to East Holland.
Can't hear it.
No, we still can't. Talk into it. Pull it closer.
Doug and Kay went to school at East Hall and North Hall, so they're giving back to their community. They've been great partners. If you ever get time to spend a few minutes with them, you will think you grew up with them. They're just down-to-earth people that donated quite a bit to us and participated in the donations. They're not just send you a check, they show up and they participate.
Thank you. That's a great announcement, a great move forward. Just this week had a mother whose children went to Ivester Early College, who happens to be in the north area, and she said her children's lives have been changed by the Ivester Early College, but she sure does wish this closer location had been available when they went, because they weren't crazy about their kids driving that far every day to go down to take their classes. So great addition. Again, we are capacity strapped right now, but this is a great next move, so thank you to the Ivesters and to the Ivester Foundation. Kevin?
All right, last item I have tonight is we have 2 field trips for consideration for the board. One is Flower Branch High School, a small group of students, 8 students to be exact, going to the Chick-fil-A Leadership Academy in New York during 2025, about this time next year, actually. And East Hall High School, that same trip we've now seen for several other schools like Johnson and Cherokee Bluff High School. It's the same vendor taking a group that could be as many as 30 students to Barcelona and Madrid. And again, that would be, my eyes are starting to fail me, but that would be during the 2026 school year. And so consideration for those approvals tonight, since this is both a regular and a work session.
Motion to approve the field trips as presented.
Have a second? Any other discussion? All in favor?
Kevin, remind the board, especially Mr. Shepherd, why we get these overseas and expensive field trips approved so early.
Well, sure. So a couple things there is, even though the vendors are actually common vendors that we utilize with regard to international field trips, there's things that got to be taken care of as far as fundraising. The board does not pay for these field trips. They are costly, and so they have to be fundraised, and a lot of times that takes several months to do. Another thing is all of the preemptive measures regarding insurance have to be taken care of. So we don't like for these to sneak up on us and say we're going to go out of the country next month. A lot of times these are going to be 12, 14, 16, 18, as much as 2 years out. So it's for those reasons that we get board approval this far in advance.
Thank you, sir. Jonathan, you want to have just a quick explanation of the HB 581 conversation that we missed up top? We in Hall County were blessed with not just one homestead exemption to be passed at the state level, but also local legislation, which also included a cap and was not tied to the cost of living increase. So talk about where we are. We're in the same situation as the city schools of Gainesville, as the city of Gainesville municipality, and also as the Hall County government. So we're all on the same page with this. Would you just talk real quick about 581 though?
Yes, sir. So 2 bills were passed, House Bill 581 and House Bill 1270. House Bill 581, both bills are designed to limit the increases in the assessed value of homes, which it is meant to provide some property tax relief. With that, the local act, which is House Bill 1270, has a 3% cap on the increase that can be made each year. The state version of the bill places a cap that is based on a number that the state revenue commissioner will assign each year. But House Bill 581 contains an opt-out provision. The local act will go into place regardless of any effect on 581.
As of today, they did a tally of districts, and again, we're one of only, I guess we're the only municipality, county in the state that had local legislation this year. Over 70% of the other districts are planning on opting out, and 20% are saying they'll probably stay in, and 10% haven't made up their mind yet. But once again, with the local legislation, there is no opting out. I would point you toward Muskogee County, Columbus, which passed this years ago, and remind you that I think their millage rate this year was 23. So once again, that's where we are. We'll be bringing you some information because we have no opportunity to opt out of the local legislation. And I think all four of us, the city schools, the county schools, the city of Gainesville, and Hall County government will be opting out of 581 because the local legislation really trumps it and also caps it at 3%. So, questions? Thank you, Jonathan. Moving right along. TAVT receipts, Jonathan?
Yes, sir. TAVT receipts for the month of November were $1,122,000, which is better over the prior month. It is a little bit down from the same time last year, but if you have any questions, just please let me know.
Moving on from there, the financial report will approve these all together.
Yes, sir. Financial report for the month of November. Overall, we are in a good position. Our expenditures are running a little bit hot for this time of year. We have tracked that. Out. We know that it's a little bit of salaries that all hit in the month of November that will amortize over the course of the rest of the year. But if you have any questions, just please let me know.
Questions for either the financial report or TAVT? If not, I'd like to recommend financial report be approved as presented.
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
I'll go back to 591 for just 1 minute and talk about, I remember having this conversation when we were in the recession in 2009 in Muskogee County. It capped, was it 3% that they kept on theirs, or was it?
I'm not familiar with their legislation, but it is capped and there was no opt-out.
Yeah, well, there was, and like you said, their millage rate is now at 23. The growth that we have, the growth of houses that do change over, will come into account. If a house sells for 20% more than its value at the time, it'll go to the 20. But as long as anybody is in that same household, it won't change more than 3% a year. We do have growth. You know, it's you want to see houses appraised at what you can sell them for. When you want to sell them, you want to see houses with the lowest tax rate as you can when you're paying taxes. And those don't always agree in the middle, and we're stuck in the middle with that, with school taxes and as I've talked about many times with the annexations that come in from municipal school districts that can take away our property and be taxed, and the tax revenue from that is just compounding difficulties on homeowners in Hall County. Just keep that in mind.
Thank you. Aaron, is this next one yours, the RFP for the E-rate?
It is. Before you is a bid tab from a E-rate RFP for virtual infrastructure upgrade. We had one respondent, Karasoft Technology Group, so I present you the best and the lowest bid.
How many companies out there do this kind of work?
Nationwide, there's probably 15 or 20 suppliers. E-rate is a very rigorous process, and 30 days for response time and such. So very unusual. We only get one, but we did indeed get one.
Do you think it is that these companies are a little hesitant to bid on an E-rate because of the difficulty in?
I don't know. I really don't know. We were expecting to evaluate 6 to 8 companies, and we had 3 days set aside, and we did this in a half a day. So we were very surprised. I don't know the answer to your question.
Eric, could you give us just a practical application of how this upgrade?
Absolutely. So if you think about in the old days, you would have huge rooms of server farms. We used to be back there. This is when we went to virtualization several years ago, we decreased our overall expenditures on not only hardware, but also staff required to maintain it, as well as software and such. And so that is what we went to, what we need. We went to virtualized infrastructure. And this infrastructure replaces it a light infrastructure. E-rate, as you guys know, is a far advanced process. So this will not be purchased until the fall of 2025. It takes about 9 months in advance to get the approvals and such. This will be installed and operational before Christmas of 2025.
Do we need to approve this vendor?
Yes, we do, please.
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second? Any other discussion? All in favor?
East Plus, Jonathan?
Yes, sir. East Boston report is before you, the East Boston 6 analysis. Total collections for the month of November were $3,776,740 and some change. That is both up over the prior month as well as up over the same time prior year. If you have any questions, just let me know.
Funding request, Matt?
Yes, sir. Several requests tonight for consideration. Most of these relate to the room renumbering that we typically do with our intercom projects. First one is Chestnut Mountain. That one would actually be a part of the intercom project. The next two, Chickpea Woods and Sugar Hill, those aren't scheduled to receive the intercom until the next year, but we wanted to go ahead and move forward with the renumbering for alignment with the others in the district. Oakwood Elementary, similar with the room renumbering, but we also are requesting these funds for design. We're going to be doing a little bit of work on site to help work with the increased amount of traffic that we'll have when world language relocates to that location. So that's within that $45,000. Next two projects, Martin and Mount Vernon. Those are intercom projects. This is for the road signs at those two locations. And then the last one, the East Los 6 request. This is more of kind of an annual request that we typically have for district-wide heat exchangers at various locations that they come up.
Aaron, talk a little bit more about all the signage, the intercoms, the interplay. It's more than...
Yes, certainly.
Like.
When we started looking at how we were being very inefficient operationally and how our systems did not talk to, we realized we did not have a common language. The common language we did not have was a room numbering system. And so we have been, as we've been redoing the phones and the intercoms, whichever comes first, we have been renumbering the schools to this common numbering system. So that up until now, if the secretary were to call a classroom, they would not call the classroom number, they would call a random number. If they needed to do an intercom call, it'd be another random number. If there was a work order put in and we needed the plumber to send over, that would be another random number. If we had to outsource and have the copier guy come in, it may be another random number. So we have brought all this together, and in the age of how we're focusing on school safety, this has been even more important because now law enforcement understands our numbering scheme, all of our safety applications, and strategic when we get that online, we'll be using the same numbering scheme. So we will have top to bottom, we have a common numbering system. And it's very logical, so if you go into a classroom and maybe 3204, the class is 3204.1.2 and such.
Thank you. I don't know anything about it, don't look at me.
I've got a little beautiful kids walking here.
I'm going to recommend that the project funding be approved as presented.
Second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Personnel packet.
Project updates.
Do that.
You said you were wanting it.
Two projects to report on tonight. First one, Johnson High School. Still moving slowly as we're beginning the process. We're taking down the old gym now. Relocated utilities. We've done work on the detention pond, beginning footings at this point. But so far, so good, and we are on schedule. Any questions on this one before we move on? Second project, Everwood Elementary, still tracking well on schedule to complete in the spring. We are in the process now of work towards finishes and interior work. So you're seeing some photographs here as we're beginning to put in ceilings, continuing hanging duct work. Soon we'll be getting all of our systems up and running. And
it's not on here, but I saw North Hall is getting some fencing up or their demolition.
Right, we will have reports on the bus shop, the project at Point Branch High School and North Hall High School next time. Each of those is just kind of in the beginning stages. But we are actively working in North Hall, just not enough yet to do report.
Now personnel.
There we go.
Now personnel. You have in front of you the personnel packet for tonight, and that includes our appointment of Christy House to be the next principal at the Academies of Discovery at South Hall Middle School, as we announced on Friday. So we have that for you this evening, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Everyone had a chance to look it over.
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second? All in favor? You have, Eric, you have signed in sheet? Now it's time for citizens' input. Susan Smith.
Good afternoon. I addressed the board on November 18th for 3 items. I requested a summary of that meeting on November 21st, and Ms. Diaz graciously sent them the next morning, and I thank her for that. After review of the unofficial minutes, I saw under public comments, Mr. Frank Locke addressed the board. Ms. Susan Smith addressed the board. There was no information about what we said. And unless you were present, no one would know what we spoke about. And I suppose that if you as board members were not intently listening or taking notes, you might not have a way of recalling what my comments and requests were, because they were not recorded in the minutes and they were not available for viewing later. So I'd like to remind you of what I asked. Number one, that you consider finding a new location for the Hall County School District Central Office to eliminate a $76,000 per year rental fee. The second one is that you publish all Board of Education live stream videos so the meetings can be viewed by parents, teachers, students, taxpayers, and any other stakeholders who are unable to attend or view a live stream at 5 p.m. on a Monday afternoon. Number three, lastly, I requested an update on the strategic security cards, which were approved by the board on September 23rd. Sadly, I noticed that this was not on the agenda today, although I specifically asked that it be addressed. I presented 3 simple ideas and requested the last one be discussed at this meeting. It was not. I wanted to know things like, have you contacted strategic? I'm saying it right. Strategic. Have you signed a contract? Have you started setting up monitoring? Anything at all? As taxpayers, I believe we have a right to expect updates on the system that we are funding. You are updating us on buildings and renovations, but not on the safety measures that you voted on. I feel this topic is a topic that should be addressed monthly. Thank you.
Frank?
Recently, I was reviewing old notes and came across one indicating that in 2022, the Hall County School Board had spent $3.6 million on electricity. That means that including that year, since then you have burned more than $10 million. In the process, you have damaged our climate, polluted our air, and got nothing in return that you can use in the future. Solar electric systems in the Hall County schools would eliminate much of that waste and result in a significant return on investment. Following is from the website space.com. October 2024 set multiple U.S. records for the driest month ever. Our changing climate continues to contribute to another record-setting month with temperature extremes and drought expansion across much of the U.S. Close to 80 climate stations across the country set new records, reporting that October 2024 was the all-time driest month, according to a recent statement from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Major cities across the eastern U.S. that reached record level included New York City, Newark, Atlanta, and Philadelphia. At the same time, an additional 50 climate stations experienced their driest October in recorded history, including Detroit, St. Louis, Memphis, and John Kennedy Airport in New York. A good number of locations recorded more than 30 days of no measurable rain, including Philadelphia, Atlanta, and Columbia, South Carolina. Preliminary data from NOAA show that, with the exception of Florida, with its peninsula picking up a significant amount of rain from Hurricane Milton within 24 hours, precipitation for the month of October across the eastern U.S. spanned from 25% or less of normal to near normal. I recently reread a science fiction book by the author of the book titled The Martian. The hero of the book is a middle school science teacher. By the way, all middle school teachers are heroes. The following passage stood out to me. 30 years, I looked at their little faces. In 30 years, they'd all be in their early 40s. They would bear the brunt of it all, and it wouldn't be easy. These kids were going to grow up in an idyllic world and be thrown into an apocalyptic nightmare. They were the generation that experienced the sixth extinction event. I sincerely hope you will consider eventually taking some action.
Thank you, Frank.
Randy Harris.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I was not able to come to the last meeting, so I had to listen to it by live stream. And I appreciate Mr. Marshall's comments about how unless everybody spoke directly into the microphone, you simply could not hear on live stream. And I am very grateful for the opportunity that you had to experience what the rest of us do if we try and listen to live stream. And secondly, it's still, these meetings are held at 5 o'clock on Mondays when parents, as a general rule, we're trying to get off of work, get their kids picked up, and get home and have dinner. It's as difficult to rearrange your schedule if you can't be here in person as it is to try and get in front of the computer to listen to it on the live stream during this set time frame. And I have been coming regularly since June of this year to these meetings, and I, along with others, have been regularly asking y'all if you would please video these meetings and put them on the school board's website so that we can go back and be involved as we have time, because parents are busy. If you take today and realize how much time those parents spent with those kids to get to the state championships, you would know that they oftentimes are not available to be here at 5 o'clock to participate in these meetings. And those are hard choices to make, but they make those choices for their children. The rest of us are trying to do the same thing, balance our family lives and our community service, which is what our participation in this process is. I don't understand why this has not been addressed or maybe discussed in one of these meetings for the public to be able to understand why it is that y'all have decided to continue on through this time frame and either not have a discussion so that we understand what your thoughts are, or to maybe bring about that change. I don't see any reason why not. We certainly have the skill level, we have the equipment, we have the technology. We should be able to manage this. There's no reason why, if we have meetings like today that acknowledge the great successes of the children that were here today, that as a regular part of meetings, that parents one by one begin to see that they can review on their own time and have access to see what the accomplishments are, what the buildings, the finances, all of the things that are going on in their school system. And so once again, I would ask y'all to not just consider it, but actually get moving and put these online so that we are able to access that and see what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Pam Sullivan.
I'm so sorry.
Good evening. My name is Pam Sullivan. Many of you may know me as a scout leader, a special education advocate, and a suicide prevention educator. I'm also a proud wife of a disabled veteran, an Army mom, a college student, and a mother of 4 children. 3 of my daughters are on the autism spectrum, one of which is dyslexic. I stay really busy. Unfortunately, I'm here tonight as a parent who has witnessed firsthand the devastating effects of bullying in our schools. 2 of my children have experienced severe bullying within the Hall County school system. Our oldest daughter's situation is particularly tragic. She's endured relentless harassment from her peers, which ultimately led to her hospitalization for 3 months. Instead of addressing the root of the issue, the principal at the time blamed her, my child, the victim. We lost months of precious time with her, time we'll never get back. While we're fortunate to not lose her entirely, the emotional scars will remain forever. Now our youngest daughter is facing similar struggles. She's not only been subjected to cruel verbal abuse, she's also endured physical assaults by another student. The student was not only given just a brief suspension, she was also sent back to the same classes the next year. The individual continues to target her, telling her to kill herself, making vile, degrading comments. This is not an isolated incident. Other students have joined in, calling my daughter names like fat, ugly, a freak, and emo because of how she dresses. She's been pushed so far that she has changed her entire wardrobe, trying to avoid further mistreatment. What's heartbreaking is that I learned these incidents far too late. Why? Because my daughter was too afraid to tell me, that she believed that reporting these bullyings was making her a snitch. Because the students at her school were telling each other that snitches get stitches. When my daughter finally sought help from the guidance counselor regarding the student who told her to kill herself, that student was suspended. Yet on the very same day, that student confronted my daughter at the bus loop, accusing her of reporting the incident. I asked, how can my children be safe in school? Why was that child allowed to remain on campus and have access to my child? We claim to have a zero tolerance policy for bullying, but what does that really mean? Are we holding the bullies accountable? Are we allowing them to continue their behavior with minimal consequences? Are we teaching, empowering things to intervene with these things, or are we just letting these policies just go? Here's the hard truth. This culture of fear and inaction starts at the top. Leadership sets a tone. If the administration does not prioritize safety, okay, thank you. If the administration does not prioritize safety and accountability, how can we expect teachers to do so? And how can we expect our children to feel safe? Furthermore, when our school board meetings are effectively being run by a superintendent and not the school board, I have to ask, does Hall County Schools or even the Georgia Board of Education truly understand what bullying is and the toll it takes on our children and educators?
Coping skills, ESG, created by Joey Schofield, is supposed to help us with these issues. This program was sold to parents as a type of therapeutic program to help kids with the stress of middle school. Many students even call it the therapy class, but it doesn't feel like therapy to me. It just makes things worse. Sitting in a classroom being told to stay positive or ignore it, feels like no one's really listening to what we're going through. Ignoring bullying doesn't make it go away, it only makes it harder to speak up. We need more coping skills. We need a school where bullying isn't tolerated, where real action is taken, and when someone hurts another, to step in and do more than tell us to work through it together, and put the other students' punishment on learning and being myself. I'm not trying to avoid people who make me feel like I don't matter. And I want you to know that when I or anyone else speaks up will actually be heard. And that something will be that stop the bullying and not make us cope with it. Please listen to us because we're the ones living this every day. Please help us build a school where no one feels like this. Thank you for your time and for listening.
Well, I don't know if, I don't know if still anybody's looking.
No, I think we're pretty, want to call in?
This is my only time I'm legally allowed to speak. 576 board meetings, 24 years. Gentleman was first elected when I was in the first grade. And tonight's his last Board of Education meeting. And we're very happy about that. I wanted to come up and just celebrate Nate Morris with everyone tonight and just share how grateful I am for your service to Hall County over these last 24 years and your mentorship to me, your friendship to me, and you've earned some time off, and I know your family's going to enjoy having you back. But if I could just share a little story. When I first got elected, I was pretty proud of myself, and I came in here, and I think I was 25 years old, and I was about to get sworn in. I told Nate, I said, you know, I think this makes me the youngest elected official in Hall County history. And he looked at me dead in the eye and he said, yeah, if you don't tell anybody, maybe they won't notice. And so Nate has always been good about keeping me in check for probably 10 years now. And so that's something I appreciate. And Nate, we appreciate you. And I know I did not want to start this, so thank you, Nate.
Thank you, Mark. This will conclude our public participation part of the meeting, but we are going to honor an individual who's given 24 years. 24 years of his service, and it's not just been service that he's given from himself, but it's taken from his family. He's been dedicated. He's studied the issues. Even though he's lived in one particular part of the county, I've always been amazed that he's always asking the question, what is best for all of the boys and girls? Because he is a Hall County native. So Nate, 20 years ago, I think you and I were talking about 21. And there's 3 of us that are still here from that time. I thank you for being a mentor, for not being afraid to say and pull me aside when you thought things needed to be differently, for doing so in a loving and respectful way. And we are blessed that you've been part of this community, that you've made these decisions and sacrificed of yourself and your own family for the goodness of the boys and girls in our community. So please join me in thanking Mr. Nate Morris for 24 years of service on the Hall County Board of Education.